What would you like to get out of this coaching relationship?
Um, Clarity
Okay.
and um, tools to make a coaching business a reality, I'd say.
Okay. And then the other thing I want you to think about is a goal that's measurable because clarity could be measurable, but clarity on what? So you see how
Yeah.
general and
Yeah.
even tools to make a coaching business successful.
Yeah. Um, the clarity is the direction. Honestly, I think what I have realized after you and I talked is I need a coaching package for sure, as opposed to just these random one-off offerings, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
So it's thinking about who I really need to narrow down my niche, my niche, whatever you want to say,
Mhm.
um, and really get clear on who I'm selling to and what I'm selling.
Perfect, because I wrote all those things down for you. I'm going to send you this after our call, and I have on here, like, we're going to get clarity on all of those things. Who's your ideal customer? What problem do they have? How do you speak to them? What are you selling? How much are you charging? So we're going to get clarity on all of those things.
Okay.
So, what does clarity mean to you?
Um,
And the second piece is how do you get clarity?
Clarity means to me when I'm not no longer questioning.
Okay. And how do you get clarity?
I meditate
Okay.
a lot. It doesn't always come to me, but that's honestly that's how I realized I have a gift that I kind of knew I had, but I wasn't certain. Um, and I mean, meditation brought me to Kathy's podcasting course. Meditation led me to my mentor, the medium I go see to help mentor me with my gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Meditation has started to bring me a lot of peace and quiet, and in that quiet breeds clarity on what I should do next, or what vision I have for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Those visions, then I can take action, and when I take
Okay.
more clear, you know what I mean?
Totally. But what happens when you don't have clear visions?
um i get I get when I don't have clarity, I get fearful. Sometimes I panic. I get in my head a lot,
Mm-hmm.
where all the ego comes in. You know, the limiting thoughts happen. And I just get frustrated because I want to be further along than I am. But I understand that that's illogical, because how can I be further along if I don't know what direction I'm even going, you know?
Totally. So one thing I want you to consider about clarity is we can get these visions and we can meditate, but in the end, you have to make a decision
Right,
and you have to stick with the decision
right.
because what will set you back is thinking that all these other visions have to come forward too.
Agreed. I
And
use,
not,
that's interesting. Sorry, I
no,
interrupted.
I was going to say, and then you're chasing all the different because you're going to get different visions.
Yep, yep, you're right.
That's normal. but you have to pick one and see it all the way through.
I agree.
So what is that vision? What is that clarity that you have now today as far as, let's start with, what is your business?
Right now, um, I'm marketing it. I'm not even marketing it, but I am a psychic medium. But my business is, and I kind of want to go onto my website so I can read it, but essentially, I consider myself a divinely led intuitive coach that can help. This is my issue too. I really can help anyone with anything given my gifts, but I know I need to pick a niche, at least to start. And then I can be the Mel Robb
Right.
of the world,
Right.
but I have to
Totally.
something.
But who do you most enjoy spending time with?
Women, definitely women are probably
Okay.
um women who are like-minded and believe in what I do, obviously, because if you don't believe in what I do, then that's not going to work. Um, Part of me, so before I started this podcasting journey, which led to so many different things and really my spiritual awakening, I have been stuck in this career for 20 years that did not made me anxious for so long. And I just thought it was because I was an anxious person. And then until I did all this childhood trauma healing work, I realized I'm not an anxious person. My nervous system is just programmed to react in situations where I feel unsafe, even if I'm not safe. And the way that I coped with it as a kid worked well for me for my survival. But now as an adult, those reactions no longer serve me. And so I've done a lot of work on myself and even my podcast, because I interviewed people like you who have left corporate America and work for themselves now. I've learned, I've started to learn the common themes of what it takes to do that. And so part of me wants to help others that have been in that situation, because it felt so constricting and ugly, and it made me lose sight of who I am.
So how would you say that in a concise way? If you had to categorize those women, what is their life looking like? Like, do they have a successful career and they're struggling with what?
They have a successful career. Um,
How did it show up in you? How did the struggle show? Because I, from here, just hearing you speak, it sounds like you are your ideal client.
yes. Yep. So how did this come up for me?
What did it look like at work? Because it's
Yeah,
going to require that you get really granular and think about the days. Like, think about a day where you felt that trauma. You didn't realize that's what it was,
I
but
would,
think about,
I mean, I remember it so well. I wake up sick to my stomach. I went to bed sick to my stomach, dreading the next day. I would wake up sick to my stomach, dreading work. I constantly felt like I was going to be in trouble over something.
okay, so you hear this, right? That's how what you want to put in your copy.
Yeah. Yep.
D- You go to bed sick to your stomach, you wake up sick to your stomach, you're dreading that you're going to get in trouble.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
So what were you thinking you would get in trouble for?
I don't know. It could have been anything. So also, I tied my value, I'm sorry, I tied my self-worth to my career.
Yeah, but you don't want to say that to people in that way because they don't know that that's what they're doing.
Very good point.
So
So,
how would you say, if you didn't have coach speak, if you didn't have personal development speak, how would you say that?
so dreading I get in trouble, the the perfectionist in me,
But I meant tying your career to your self-worth.
yeah. So I'm going to explain it to you because I don't know how else to explain it.
Hmm.
When I was a kid, I was put in like a parentified role very early on, and everything had to be in its order and had to be perfect. And if it wasn't perfect, like then I'd be on the radar, like, and I didn't want to be on the radar. And I got a lot of pressure from school and I got a lot of pressure from my parents. And like, um, it's like that little girl is triggered again at work. You
Are
know what I'm
you the oldest?
No, I'm second. Only girl, middle child, only girl.
So why were you given that responsibility?
Probably because my brothers were just boys will be boys. Like, I think a big piece of it was I saw things that I shouldn't have seen as a child. And I was very vocal about it also. And so I was
Mhm.
black sheep. Um, I also felt like because I was treated as the black sheep, I had to be perfect in all other areas. And so I also like needed to control everything around me because everything else, I needed to control everything because all the things around me were out of control.
So what does that look like, controlling that? Like, what does that look like on the job? Because how do you control everything around you on a job?
Um, I'll just do it myself instead of delegating.
Okay. So these are all good things to know because these are all topics that you're going to speak on.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're afraid to delegate. They
Right.
hold on to everything, hold it closely, don't want to be found out, right? Because people might find out that you're not as smart as they think you are.
It's like imposter syndrome. Interesting.
Yeah. And that's why you would get in trouble because they're going to
Yeah.
find something that you did wrong.
Right. Right. Um,
So let's wait before you say anything else. So we're in this energy, right?
yeah.
How can you use your gifts to help your past self who felt these things? Like, what would it look like for you to use your gifts?
It's harder for me to use my gifts on myself, um,
But I'm not saying on yourself, I'm
but
saying on your past self, who's this person. You could give her
uh
a name.
you were saying, yeah, 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 sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Or,
yeah. Your past self
yeah,
who felt like that, who had that experience. You could call her, I don't know, Susan.
yeah. Um, so I would start by obviously getting down to what is going on.
Oh, okay, let's
Like,
break that down though. Your
are you
sound, your
what my emotion?
sound, your sound is going in and out.
Oh, it is. Here, let me see if I can put these on. This might be better. Can you hear me?
I could hear you, but like all of a sudden you would be moving your lips and
That's
nothing.
weird. Is it better
Let's,
now though?
it seems to be.
Okay, I put my ear pods in.
Um,
Maybe it was that.
so how would you find out what was going on? Like if she's sitting in front of you and you're just getting to know her, what's the first question you would ask her?
Probably what you asked me. What do you want to get out of this? And just have that conversation. And get down into what exactly is going on and making her unhappy.
But why would she come to you? Like, what did you say to her so that she knew, oh, she can help me?
Because like, so when I did Kelsey Murphy's coaches masterclass, the copy, it's like, what are the problems you're experiencing, and then what solutions do you have to the problem? And
Mhm.
so it's like, um, it's the kind of thing where she would come to me because when I would present it, I'd be like, I get it, I've been there, and here's what I did to get out of it.
So do you need to tell people that you're a psychic medium?
No.
See, that's what came up for me listening to you, because it's almost like I learned the self-coaching model. And I've been using it while I'm talking to you, but I didn't say to you, I'm using the self-coaching model.
Right.
It's a tool. So you being a medium, and I'm very intuitive. Like I always say, I can hear what you're not saying,
Yeah, yeah,
but I don't have to come and advertise. I hear what you're saying, what you're not saying. So you should work with me, or like, you know what I mean? I don't have to,
yeah.
you don't have to lead with that. I'm not saying don't talk about it
Interesting.
at all, but you don't have to lead with that because there's a lot of people that are in corporate, that are your past self, that
That don't,
are
yeah,
that either don't know what it is, have misconceptions, or it's just confusing to them. So why lead with it?
that is such a great point.
It's a tool that you use, but I think, especially starting out and wanting to replace your corporate income or more, it's going to be much easier for you to speak to the issues because we can either speak to the issues they're having or we could speak to the tools we use.
I totally hear what you're saying, and I totally agree with that. Love it.
Yeah, so you don't have to lead with, I'm a psychic medium. Now you can practice with your friends or people that you know, or
Yep,
even uh, the other thing is, I have this tool that I use. Most people are
right.
not going to say, what's it called?
Yeah,
Because I just know if you're speaking to your past self was afraid to even admit that that was what was going
a
on.
100%. Corporate, just, yeah, totally,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah. So why not continue to grow your gift and use it in your coaching?
Yep, I love it. You're good. I
Thank you.
like that.
And this is the thing I learned the hard way, and I will share with you. It's one thing to be an amazing coach, which I am, but it's another thing to build a business
Yep,
and be
I agree.
consistent with it.
Yep.
So those are the tools. Like when I first started, I had a lot of business, so I didn't have to really work on marketing. And I mean, I learned sales and I serving to me, and we'll talk about this. Selling is serving. Selling is finding out what the person really desires and how you can help them get it.
Yep. Yep.
It's not beating them over the head and trying to force them to do something and convince them and all the things. But I didn't really have to learn, like I know how to run a brick and mortar business, but online business is a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really learn the marketing piece because Kathy was like my marketing, her community was my marketing.
Yeah.
So now I'm going back. Like I've had to learn those things kind of after making all the money.
Yeah.
So I want you
Right.
to set yourself up so that you learn those things now,
Yeah.
along with being a great coach.
Yep.
So there's a way as far as the coaching that you can ask questions to help people come up with the answer themselves and
Yep.
and then give them strategies. So you see how I asked you about clarity and what does
Yep.
that mean to you?
Right.
And what tools do you want? Because you said you want to learn tools to have a successful business. So you already know a lot of the tools. You already took a lot of the programs.
Yep. Yep.
You just told me you took copywriting,
Well, it was a coach's masterclass from Kelsey Murphy. It was,
coach's masterclass. So what did you learn in there? Because that would help me
yeah.
to know what you learned.
So I learned how to build an offer. Um,
Okay.
so I
And
built an offer.
what does that mean, build an offer?
So I created a coaching offer on boundaries.
Okay.
And she asked, she had all the paperwork to go through, like your ideal client, um, exactly all the details, like down to the person. Um, and like her module helped you go through the sales copy and then how to get it through like a website funnel, but it was too expensive for me to do. So I just used my podcast website to put a little bit of information on that website about this. But
So the boundaries coaching or boundaries, did you call it coaching or bound
yeah, it was like I use boundaries coaching using a modality that I created called the 3S boundary method.
three
But
S's in Sam?
yes, YES. The
Oh,
thing is, sorry,
what was it called again?
the 3 yes
Oh,
boundary method.
yes.
Yep.
You
Yep.
have to excuse me because I don't know if you remember, I lost hearing in one of
Oh
my ears.
no. Yeah, you told me that.
So
All
certain
good.
words, like that's the
Right,
only word
right.
you've said so far that was like not,
What? Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah. All good.
if I do that, you'll know
Yep.
why.
All good. All good. So I created that, and then before I started to like even try to market it,
Hmm.
that's when the floodgates opened with like these gifts, and I kind of wanted to change course a bit. Um, and so I started to do tarot card readings for people, and I practiced that for free, got a ton of testimonials, and now I'm doing these readings for people. But they're few and far between. Like it's hard to
I have a perfect idea for you. Did you
what's that?
believe in your three yes system?
I did.
Do you still use it for yourself?
I'm actually coaching someone for free on it right now, but it's kind of going sideways. But I did coach some people for free on
So tell me the three yes. Because okay, let
it.
me
Yeah.
just tell you let me just tell you where I'm going with this. You already created something and you
Yeah.
spent a lot of time with it.
Hmm.
And if you still believe in it, that's a strong foundation for starting. And let me tell you what one of my coaches does. She, do I have that? Hold on one second. Let me see. Oh, I think it's in my bedroom. But hold on. This isn't it, but the cards,
Yeah.
my affirmate, well, these are oracle cards, but
Okay.
my coach, I think I have it in my bedroom. My coach created her own cards and
Oh wow.
does readings before the coaching. Yeah. And she pulls cards for the group. I have her cards, and she pulls cards before we even start coaching. Look at you with your mouth wide open.
I love that.
Everything doesn't have to be the way Kathy said, or Kelsey
I know.
said, or this person said. We want to bring you and your magic. Like, nobody told me to bring a wand into my
Love you.
coaching. Nobody told me that, right?
You're the
But
best.
Spirit said, buy a wand. I was
I
never
love it.
like, I'm older. Growing up, we didn't see all these princesses and stuff. Not that
Yeah.
Cinderella existed, yeah, but I'm
Right, right. But
black.
it
I
wasn't a
didn't,
big thing either. Yeah.
no, not like it is now.
Right.
I'm sitting here and Spirit said, buy a wand. I'm obedient.
Yep.
When I first started, I used to send my clients the wands. We cre
No way. That's awesome.
we create I should go back to it. We create magic up in here.
I love it.
No coach is doing that. But I wasn't even thinking about it as part of coaching my thing.
Right. Right.
Spirit said, buy a wand and you're creating magic with people.
Wow. That's super cool.
I could have came on this call with you today and said, take a deep breath. And I've done this before too. Let me pull a card for you. And let me pull a card for you while we're sitting here.
I like it.
So it doesn't have to look, you can bring all your specialness, right? You can bring it
Mm-hmm.
all. I like to connect with my heart before I pull the card, or sometimes you familiar with your third eye?
Mm-hmm.
And then I pull a card, right? I mean, you can come on a call. Let's see what came up for you. These are abundance cards. Sanctity. I don't know what that means. Through offering even the most mundane problem can become a sacrament. Through offering even the most mundane problem can become a sacrament. What does that mean?
I don't know.
We're going to find that. You know what? This is another thing I like to do. I like to ask my friend AI
Mm.
to break it down. I even had my daughter do this yesterday with something. And I will just take a picture and upload it. Do you ever use AI?
Oh yeah. That's a great idea.
And I will upload the picture because she was reading this kind of medical book about your blood type. And some of the stuff we were like, what does that mean?
Right. Right.
It's doing something really weird. Let's see. That's really weird. Let's see. Explain to me what this message on the card means. It's like moving weird for some reason. Let's see what it says. It says, oh, okay, the concept of offering here implies a mindset shift rather than seeing problems as mere obstacles. Instead of seeing a problem as a problem, you see it as a mere obstacle. So you have a mindset. I'll send it to you. The concept of offering here implies a mindset shift. Rather than seeing problems as mere obstacles, we approach them as opportunities for growth, reflection, or service. When we offer up our struggles, whether through prayer, meditation, or simply an intentional mindset, we align them with a greater purpose. This can change our perspective, helping us to find grace, strength, and a sense of holiness in everyday challenges. In essence, the card encourages us to infuse our daily lives with intention and devotion, seeing even the small and difficult parts of life as part of a spiritual journey. That's amazing it got that much out of it.
Hmm.
Because it's saying even the most mundane problem, can become a sacrament, a
Right.
gift, a prayer.
Mm,
So even the most mundane problem, that's what I would focus on. So it means having a mindset shift that the problem really isn't a problem, it's an offering.
yeah. Yep.
So I'm going to take a picture of this for you, and I'm
Thank
going to
you.
send you this too, because I think, like, initially, especially before I had I probably would have said, let's pull another card, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But this is your message.
Yeah.
So, and now that it kind of sits with me, what if you're on the surface, your three yes boundary system seems mundane, basic, the old you. But what if it truly is an offering? And
Yeah.
how did you come up with that? Because what I think would be helpful is because you already have the foundation and you already said you're coaching someone using it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why not infuse your mediumship with this?
Yeah, I should. So, how did it start? So, the childhood trauma, I was trying to figure out what I would do an offering on. I had no clue what I could coach on at the time. And I had done that childhood trauma healing work, and a big piece of that work was boundary setting. And honestly, what it's about is the 3 yes boundary method for me is saying yes to what you value the most,
Mm-hmm.
saying yes to, oh my God, I haven't, um, sorry, saying yes to what you value the most, saying yes to um, communicating those values, and saying yes to following through.
See,
Because,
that you just
um,
went at you just froze on the third one. You
oh, I
froze.
did? Oh,
Uh,
sorry. Weird. So saying yes to what you value most, saying yes to communicating those, and saying yes to following through. Because
okay.
the second you say yes to what you value most, it's so easy to get rid of everything else. And you're worthy of that. You know,
So
you're worthy of paying attention to what you value.
this is
Um,
so
and a
this
lot of it, it's interesting.
go ahead.
What's that?
No, I said this is so
I
good
was going to
because
say, it's just very,
we must be on a lag.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
You sure? Okay. So, it's, I was just going to say it's interesting because a lot of people who I've coached have don't have a lot of self-worth, and a lot of that comes from childhood trauma. And I have also decided to take a course through my therapist to learn how to coach through childhood trauma. And a big piece of core issues is boundary setting. And
Yeah,
so if I do this, it could turn into something bigger and bigger and bigger, you know?
totally. Totally. So there you are. Now you already know what your offer is because you already had your offer.
Okay. Wow.
So the offer is about putting it out there and learning more and learning what works. And I put this down here too on the form on the document I'm sending you. What works, what didn't work, and what you would do differently. So every time you coach this person, you can make a note. Where was there a spark? What seemed to be working? What seemed, what was clear to them? What questions did they have?
Okay.
And you can immediately start, if you want to, pulling a card for them, whatever
Mm,
your favorite card is. and just tell them, let's do something different.
Yeah, I
So
love that.
I know, okay, I know a lot of times people have pushback on being like calling themselves like you want to work with everybody, right? But what
Yeah.
if you work with women, you're a boundaries coach for women in corporate, or you're a boundaries coach for high achieving women, you're a boundaries coach for who? Who, how do you want to
Yeah.
describe?
Um, I can pull up the copy I did. I mean, I wrote it
But
all
I
out.
want you to tell me from your heart though, who is
So
she?
it would be me. It would be successful career women, and moms, both can be true, one or
Mhm.
both, and who are burnt out, the go-to people, put everyone before themselves,
Mhm.
and is just like exhausted every night, exhausted every morning, just can't seem to find the joy in life because they're just so tapped.
See, you didn't need to see your copy to tell me that.
Right. You're right.
So, how do you condense that? Because if somebody asks, "Oh, what do you do?" You're not going to tell them all of that.
No, I'm an intuitive boundaries coach for successful women.
And then they're going to say, "What does that mean?" Intuitive? What? Like,
Maybe I don't say that then.
I wouldn't put the intuitive part.
Okay.
Not in the beginning. I'm not
Right.
saying
I
never.
know you're right. You're right.
I know
Right.
you want to hold on to that, but hold on to it
I
in your
know.
show
Yeah.
people. Okay, this show people that you're intuitive. Don't tell them.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
Because I don't think people care if you're intuitive. They just want to know if you can help them.
Right.
So we have actually only 4 minutes left.
Yep.
Um, I'm going to send you this form. I want you to fill out some of this stuff. Like what, when you did all that work, did you create a freebie or valuable free offer, whatever they called it?
Um, no, well, no. I
Well,
was
that must,
starting, what's
well,
that?
just say yes or no, because we only have 4 minutes.
Yeah, so I created a Zoom, like I was gonna do a live webinar, but I didn't create a freebie. No, I should create a freebie.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Because I just want to go through this kind of quickly, and then you can make decisions outside of the call on what that would be, and then we can come back and hone in on it. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
like your freebie, I would suggest something that's more like a guide, a
Yeah.
PDF, something like that. Um,
Yeah.
I know that you use Instagram. Is that your main social media?
Yeah, I would say.
Are your people on Instagram or are they on Facebook or LinkedIn? Like, where would your,
It's Facebook and Instagram, both.
okay, okay. Did you make a decision about your podcast? Because if you're a boundaries coach, you need a name for your podcast that is clear that that's what you're going to be talking about on your podcast. So you don't have to answer any of these now. I just want you to keep it in mind.
Yeah.
Will you need to um change some things on your website? You decide that. But I want your message to be clear that you're a boundaries coach for successful career moms or
Yeah.
career women. And just what you told me, you help them with burnout or you help them with burnout. You help them stop being everything to everyone.
Yeah.
And then you said you were putting together a webinar. What I want you to consider doing is at least one free training live each month. And we could talk about that next week. But all these
Okay.
things, I just want you to start thinking about. And like I said, I'll send you this in writing. And what your main message and your mission is. Like for me, my main mission is to help women be free and to learn how to be able to take care of themselves without a job, without a husband, without anything outside, but they are the source for themselves.
Mhm.
And it's funny, somebody told me that same thing. They didn't say it in the same way, but they said they want to help women know, learn how to make money so that they don't have to depend on anyone else but themselves.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so that's basically, I'm asking you, who's your ideal customer, which we talked about. What problem do they have, which we talked about. Um, how do you want to speak to them? Like, make a list of the words that you want to specifically use with them. So you already worked on copy. You could look at it and see, are there any key phrases or words that you want to make sure you repeat? Because people start to know you by those phrases.
Yeah.
And then the
Okay.
price. So
Yeah.
you said, oh, so
I know.
you're coaching. So also, if you're selling coaching, which you are, you're selling a coaching package, you have to decide what is the package, how many sessions, how much it costs, all of that.
I know. Yeah.
So those are all the things for you to work on and think about between now and next week.
Okay.
Questions,
Okay.
comments?
No. Not yet. I think you're wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Thank you.
I
Thank
mean,
you.
it I'm glad we're doing this because you're clear on so many things, even though it might not feel like it.
Yeah.
I think that you already know the answers, you're not trusting yourself. So I would ask you to lean more into trusting that you already know what to do
Yeah.
and that the only thing that's been getting in your way is that you were being kind of mean to yourself.
Yeah.
That's the only
Totally.
thing. So it's up to you to start loving up on yourself more.
Yeah.
That's your job, and no one else can do that.
Yeah. You're right.
Even if even if you were still married, even if whatever, you know, especially as women, we learn, oh, you got to have a man and the man's going to
Right.
love you, right? You got to love you first.
Yeah.
And the more you
Right.
love you, the better you will show up in your business.
Yep. You're right.
So that's
You're
your
right.
work.